Hi everyone, welcome back to another Last Week in DeFi episode where we talk about all the constituents and the news for our DeFi index token. Today is April 19th, 2022, and lots going on, but the good news is, right, everything is green. Well, a little bit green, which is still better than red or anything else pretty much. So before we talk about the news of our DeFi index token, right, we want to check out the rebalance, which happened 3 days ago. So this is different. So if you go back and you listen to our Last Week in DeFi episode 4, right, you would notice that the constituents are different, right? Because our tokens rebalance every month, as you can see here on the bottom. So our tokens rebalance twice a month, and this is the second rebalance of the month. And so things are different. And as you can see, so Loopring V2 at the top, we have liquid staked Ethereum is back at number 2, Synthetix is number 3, Chainlink number 4, Aave, Graph, Maker, Uniswap, right? And those are the 8 tokens for our DeFi index token. And the current market cap sitting at $244,940. The discount is 6.71%. The price is actually, so it started off towards the end of last week on the 12th of April, $2.31. And we went up a little bit to $2.39. And then we had a lot of horizontal action, like the market pretty much been all of that this week. $2.30. We went all the way down to $2.14 yesterday. Then we came back up to $2.31, and now we're sitting at $2.29. So you can check out the IPFS hash and see how it rebalanced right on the 16th. You have to click and open this. This does not work on my Firefox for some reason, so I tested it out in Chrome and it works no problem. So definitely do this on a Chrome browser if you are using Firefox. So I had planned this episode out earlier this week. The news was supposed to follow like from here, top to bottom. It is not going to do that. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is staked Ethereum or liquid staked Ethereum. So from Lido Finance, and if you guys listen to the Marinade episode, Marinade is the largest liquid staking solution for Solana. And we talked about Lido a bit there, but Lido is the largest liquid staking solution in crypto at the moment. And today's headline is from Crypto Potato. 75% of new stakers on Lido Finance joined via staking project in past month. So what this means is like, you guys know I'm an Ethereum miner, right? And so I'm still mining Ethereum, right? The mining was supposed to stop, or is supposed to stop, right, in Q2. But they just announced last week that the merge is going to be delayed, so people will keep mining Ethereum. But the largest Ethereum mining pool, which I belong to, which is called Ethermine, they have already launched their Beacon Chain staking solution, where we can stake our mined Ethereum with them and earn interest. And so this is what this is talking about, is that all the new stakers on Lido Finance, they joined via some sort of staking project. So it could be Ethermine, could be something else. Then centralization concerns, because everyone putting Ethereum in a single place. Ethermine is a good example of that, because the number of miners on Ethermine is double the second mining pool, the second best mining pool, pretty much. Okay, and it says, with the Ethereum merge approaching, staking on the Beacon chain has intensified as expected. According to Lido, the blockchain is now secured by more than 35 billion equivalent in staked assets, with the staking project contributing a major share in the past month. This in turn has sparked concerns about centralization among the community, which Lido acknowledged and noted. Okay, so they mentioned this, right? Another improvement that the staking platform aims to adopt is the creation of a node operator score, NOS, put together from various metrics and distribute stake based on that. So we talked about this with Marinade, for example, right? Like they said, based on your governance, you get to vote on who gets to the staked Marinade, right? So you get to distribute the Marinade staked Solana yourself. So this seems to be a similar solution where you can see, okay, this guy has a high score or this person has a high score. We can give our staked Lido to them. Its native token Lido LDO has surged 257% from a low of $1.36 on the 21st of February to posting a 2022 high of $4.86 10 days ago, dudes, to its connection with the Ethereum 2.0 upgrade. Delay in Ethereum merge. So this is already what we talked about before. So this is interesting, right? That, you know, Lido, I think Lido is going to be the de facto solution when it comes to liquid staking Ethereum. It's very hard for somebody else to come up with a solution, but they are like pretty behind compared to Marinade Finance, right? Because like Marinade has a bunch of options and they rarely go for the decentralization stuff, whereas Lido is definitely very much centralized. Okay, let's move on to another constituent of our DeFi index token, which is Chainlink. Chainlink can make a turnaround based on its appeal with developers. Chainlink is gaining appeal both as a platform for smart contract developers and for creators of non-fungible token marketplaces and non-fungible token NFTs. So a lot of these articles you guys will find on, like, if you Google crypto on Google News or on Apple News as well, is that you'll find a lot of these sort of price discussion articles, right? I'm not that much into price. You might follow some of my fellow Amun coworkers and they will talk about price, but here we just talk about the news and what's happening in the space. And it says Chainlink is appealing to developers. So Chainlink has become a blockchain platform of choice for certain new DeFi apps. For example, a new app called Reputation DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, helps people who normally have to put up a large amount of collateral for a DeFi loan. Typically, the crypto lender requires 150% collateral for the loan amount. Reputation, using the Chainlink platform, has a data service using Chainlink that reduces the risk to DeFi lenders willing to offer loans with less collateral. So this goes back into, again, we talked about this on another episode, I think it was a Pico episode, where Polygon's launching like a reputation system on the chain where people can know, okay, Kriyan has X amount of reputation, he's done this, he's lent this, he's borrowed this amount of money. So the idea of an on-chain credit score, so people who are doing lending and borrowing in Solana anyway, like places like Solend, on Aave, you can know, okay, this person is reliable, I can lend money to this person. So this talks about what Chainlink is. Moreover, Chainlink is now gaining a reputation as a viable platform to develop non-fungible tokens. Chainlink Labs recently posted on Twitter that it can provide a competitive edge and dynamic edge for NFT developers who want to develop NFT marketplaces. Wow, okay. So you guys know I talk about Magic Eden a lot because I am a big fan of theirs. Of course, everyone knows OpenSea. So I don't think OpenSea or any of the NFT marketplaces are using some kind of Oracle at the moment, but maybe that is the next stage of NFT marketplaces, which would be interesting. All right, we have another piece of Chainlink news today, which is about a hackathon. It says the Chainlink Spring 2022 hackathon starts April 22nd. That is in 3 days, Taiwanese time. Sign up today for the chance to build the next breakthrough dApp. Make your mark on the future of Web3, right? 450,000 plus in prizes, world-class workshops, top VCs, April 22nd to May 27th. All right, let's have a look at the link. Cool video over here. As usual, guys, you can have a look at the links in the show notes on the podcast or on the YouTube channel, and you can have a look for yourself. This talks about the hackathon, reasons to join. Right now, the prize money is actually 480,000 from the Chainlink website. Experts, right, earn the opportunity to present your project in front of VCs. So VCs, venture capital companies who could potentially fund you, and you'd be up and running with your own crypto company to connect with other developers, to upskill yourself, learn new things, right? And the grand prize 25,000, a DAO 10,000, Chainlink services first 7,500, top quality projects 40 of them $500, a Filecoin social good warrior of 7,500, Filecoin IPFS it $5,000, NFT and gaming $15,000. So it looks like the grand prize 25,000, but otherwise Filecoin storage was at 22,500. So the biggest award is for storage, which is it could be an interesting trend, right? Because like I've got 4 hard drives on my computer at the moment, but I pay for Google storage. I have about 200 gigabytes that I share with my other podcast, and it's actually not a lot, right? Like when you're doing YouTube content, when you're doing audio, when you're backing up stuff on your computer, pictures and that sort of stuff, 200 gigabytes of cloud storage is not great. And if lo and behold something happened, that would suck. But distributed storage, like what Filecoin does, is actually an interesting idea. And then I think after Filecoin, we see DeFi is 15,000 is the next biggest one. And NFT and gaming, of course. You guys know I'm a big fan of Sunflower Land, which is a cool NFT game. So this goes through what's happening for the hackathon. Lots of stuff to learn. If I had more time, I'd love to join that kind of stuff. All right, and these are all the people that are going to be there. Of course, Sergey Nazarov, right, the co-founder of Chainlink, Austin Griffith, Ethereum Foundation, Allison Hare, developer advocate, Filecoin and IPFS. Cool people. So if you're into programming, Chainlink, lots of people are going to be at this hackathon. Definitely something for you to consider to join if you are interested. Okay, let's move on, right? Because our DeFi token has a lot of constituents, so there's a lot of news. The next thing we're going to talk about, right, is Loopring, right? Now, Loopring does not have a lot of news, right? But Loopring has done really well since we started talking about them 5 episodes ago. And they don't have a lot of news going on. So today what I thought we'd talk about, and I think going forward, if there isn't a lot of news, what I might look at is just the site and talk about some of the projects, right? Maybe every few episodes or so, because some people maybe are not familiar with Loopring, and it might be good for new people to the show to say, okay, what is this thing? So What I thought this was cool, right, is because I used to be a teacher, as many of you guys know, and one of my boss's husband asked me to say, hey, how can kids learn how to do NFTs, right? And so I gave him the whole bunch of cool YouTube videos, and then he was like, oh, so how do I mint an NFT, right? So when I minted my first NFT, I used Mintable because Mintable allows you one free NFT. But definitely Loopring could be a solution if you are a teacher teaching about NFTs, or you want to mint your own NFTs, right? So it says, it is actually not that complicated. It's not very long. It says create a folder on your PC for the NFT and give it a name, Diamond NFT. All right, so you have two options, right? Pinata, or you can use IPFS desktop. Upload the NFT folder you created in point 1 that contains your NFT. There are lots of pictures that explain it. So using IPFS, right? Take note of the CID above, as you will need it later. Blah, 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 the JSON file using a text editor such as Notepad, metadata.json, right? There's a little bit of programming here, but it's just literally writing information. You can just copy and paste and fill in your information. And then it says the legend, right? This explains what all the stuff that you're putting in there. This explains using Pinata, using IPS desktop. Take note of the file, navigate to the L2 wallet tab, click my NFT section, click mint the NFT, paste in the CID that you obtained from uploading the JSON file, and then you're done, right? So that is how you mint an NFT on Loopring. Definitely very easy. It might be the whole JSON file might be a little bit complicated for some people, but definitely something to think about for people who want to get into NFTs. All right, the next thing we're going to talk about is Aave. Aave, again, also not a lot of big news. The thing that I'm finding is a lot of people are doing sort of community calls, things to talk to people, or things where you get to meet the founders or some people in the team. That might be something, if you guys are interested, I could listen to some of those and then do a summary for that sort of stuff. So Aave Grants, right? Aave, they're part of the same organization. It says BGD Labs will be joining our community call this Tuesday to discuss their proposal to support the protocol development for the next 15 months. All right, this is from April 8th. And this was posted on April 12th. This is just a retweet. And let's have a look at what the proposal is. It says Aave board goes developing BGD, and they have a cool picture over here. So basically what these guys are doing is they are people who used to work for Aave or who still work for Aave, and they're saying that they are going to develop Aave and help out with the development and focus on some stuff, right? So this explains their mission and values, the project. So this is the tasks. Maintenance of Aave V2 contracts until migration to V3, sure. Migrating V2 markets to V3, sure. Technical support on listing of new assets, best effort. So the sures, I think, would mean if you work in a company, there is levels of priorities. We do that at a month. So the sure things, of course, are going to happen. Technical support of listing of new assets. So they're going to do their best, right? Create and improve tooling to monitor governance proposals and their general correctness, sure. Migration of ABPT balancer pool to balancer V2, sure. Technical support and deployments for new chains, best effort. Looks like a lot of new stuff is not going to be a top priority for Aave, right? Technical assistance and implementation of community create. So they're focusing on what they have right now. And that's a good thing, right? Because you do want to put in effort into what the community is using right now, because if you're always pumping out the new stuff, the old stuff can leave people a bit jaded. So this is a very long document, right? So as you can see over here, it's not that long, right? There are a lot of comments behind. And so it's definitely something to read if you're interested in Aave, because continuous development is good and changes are good. Changes generally are positive and moving a project in a good direction. Okay, so we're at the 15-minute mark and we have a fair bit amount of news. I don't like to keep these too long because I know some of you guys like this short form content. So let's move on to Maker. So this is another like a slow news week for Maker. It says this is another governance proposal. Offload TUSD and DAI transfers April 15th, 2022. The governance facilitators and the protocol engineering coordinator have placed an executive proposal into the voting system. Maker holders should vote for this proposal if they support the following alterations to the Maker protocol. If you are new to voting in the Maker protocol, please see the voting guide to learn how voting works and this wallet setup, right? So this explains. So basically there are a few proposals. TUSD, Terra USD collateral held in the Maker protocol will be offloaded via liquidation. 470,000 DAI will be transferred to the growth core unit as stated in the active budget proposal. 25,000 DAI will be transferred to the ambassador program multi-sig. The gelato keeper stream of 1,000 DAI per day will be replaced as a result of a bug in the destination contract. Okay, this link explains what exactly is happening and why you should be interested if you're part of the Maker ecosystem. Please have a read. We're going to keep going. We're going to talk about the graph next. So the graph, like I mentioned about community talks, the graph had a community talk very recently, right? And the cool thing is they talked about the graph's R&D roadmap. It says last month, the Graph Foundation shared the R&D roadmap, a collaborative plan being executed by contributors from around the world, including Edge and Node, Streaming Fast, Figment, The Guild, Semiotic AI, GraphOps, LimeChain, Block Science, Prism Group, and other independent researchers. We'll go over the highlights of the roadmap and working groups. So this is something you could have listened to 5 days ago if you're interested. We're going to have a look at the roadmap. So this explains what the graph is. I think roadmaps are really cool. There's a Moon roadmap that I'd love to share with you guys, and I have to ask if we can do so. At least put it on the site. That would be really cool. An integral part of continuing to push decentralization of the graph is decentralizing the way teams collaborate on core elements of the protocol. There are 5 distinct working groups that make up the focus areas of the roadmap: data and APIs, SNARK Force, protocol economics, protocol and network operations, indexer experience, right? So this is a graphical look at this. Let's zoom in a bit more because this does look a bit small. Okay, we're at 200%. So there's data and APIs, indexing performance, Firehouse Graph Client, and new data sources. So this is what they're working on. This is a lot of very complicated programming language. Is there anything interesting here? There's a lot of interesting stuff here. So these are the five points, right? Yes. So this is the data and API stuff. I think this will not be very interesting to a lot of people. SNARK Force, right? Verifiable indexing and queries towards EIP quadruple 4. Scalar state channels upgrades with zero knowledge proofs. So ZK Snark, right, which is a roll-up solution, which means faster traffic, lower gas fees, which is pretty nice. And then protocol economics. These are the people who are working it on the left-hand side. And this is what's going to happen. Index improvements, stake rebates, predictable disputes, subsidized query settlement, batch delegation, curation improvements, decaying capital gains tax, subgraph developer improvements, subgraph sets, L2 protocol scaling, of course, always good as crypto becomes more popular. Our protocol and network operations, protocol automation, this is pretty cool. Payments gateway, that's nice. Index experience, right? Automated cost modeling, POI cross-checking. Okay, all right, let's zoom out. Okay, so very interesting. Definitely something to have a look at if you are into the graph. And there's, again, this is a very lengthy piece of text that I could probably do a whole 30-minute episode on. But again, we're just covering the news on a very surface level for this kind of podcast. All right, let's move on to Uniswap. So Uniswap has something interesting, and this is very new news. This is Uniswap Labs. Andreessen Horowitz sued for securities violations over worthless tokens, right? Now, Uniswap Labs and Uniswap Exchange are different, right? Uniswap Labs, from what I remember, they're registered in the States, but their exchange is not to do with the lab, so they can prevent this kind of stuff, but I guess they're being sued anyway. It says a California resident has sued Uniswap Labs founder Hayden Adams and the company's backers, which includes prominent venture capital firms Andreessen Horowitz, Union Square Ventures, Paradigm, and Age Capital Management. All right, the plaintiff Nessa Risley, individually and on behalf of others similarly situated, claims that the defendants engage in unlawful promotion, offer, and sale of unregistered securities on the exchange in the form of crypto tokens. Now, this is very strange because if you go and look on the Uniswap site, it's basically you just put in the stuff you want to swap and you swap. That's it. There's nothing else beyond it. But apparently, this lady said that they were promoting stuff, and I'm pretty sure Uniswap does not promote stuff. This explains who Uniswap is. Uniswap's labs, its founder and backers are well aware of the fraud perpetrated on the exchange, but have done nothing to stop these activities, even though they could easily use. Okay. Risley accuses Uniswap of creating a fee structure that allows it to collect fees for issuers on every transaction executed on its trading platform, which has raked in vast profits for its founders and backers. Risley singled out tokens between April 5th, 2021 and April 4th, 2022. These include Bizogi Earth, Alpha Wolf Finance, Boombaby.io, Rocket Bunny, Matrix Samurai, and Ethereum Max. Ethereum Max in particular, of course, everyone knows this was promoted on Instagram. I saw that. That was just really terrible. And I think this is something that crypto has to be better about, because while everyone says it's your responsibility, but for an industry, when people are new to it, you don't want them to get burned. And so experienced people in crypto have to step up and regulate it, right? As much as regulations against the whole vibe of crypto, I think regulation is what we need to prevent stuff like this from happening. It says Uniswap Labs brushed off the lawsuit, saying that it intends to fight the case in court. Okay, very interesting. All right, the last thing we are going to talk about today is Synthetix protocol. We have had them in the index before. I don't think I've ever had a chance to talk about them So Synthetix protocol, if you guys, some of you don't know what it is, right? And what it is was something that we'll talk about in another show, because again, this is something that's also fairly complicated that would require some time to explain. So it says the latest news from Synthetix, right? This is April 17th, so 2 days ago. All stakers on Optimism PBC received 70% APY for the week. Staking Synthetix, right? Get some SNX. So we're going to look at how do you stake SNX. Staked SNX performs several crucial tasks, creates deep liquidity for synths trading on Synthetix, supports various protocols that rely on Synthetix liquidity, Quenta, Lyra, Curve, DHedge, etc. You receive 2 kinds of rewards for staking SNX. SUSD fees generated from traders. Okay, both of these rewards must not be manually claimed in one of the transaction each fee period, or they will be returned to the pool and redistributed to other takers. Wow. So like my wife, who sometimes forgets to claim stuff, that would be terrible. So it says basic steps: transfer SNX to compatible wallet, MetaMask. Go to staking.synthetix.io, bridge your SNX from layer 1 Ethereum to layer 2, right? The bridge to process this is accessible, staking the Synthetix.io L2. You'll need to bridge over Ethereum through the Optimism gateway to process transactions in Optimism, just like you would on layer 1. Before going further, ensure that you're connected to the Optimism network by heading over to chainlist.org. Once you've migrated your Synthetix and have bridged over ETH to pay OE transaction fees, you can take your tokens. You will do this by navigating to the staking menu. Okay. Basic steps for claiming, very interesting. All right, so if you're into SNX, that is a fairly complicated stuff. I have not bridged anything. No, that's not true. And you guys know the story of me trying to bridge Axie on Ronin. Yes, it didn't work, so I have not gotten the courage to try bridging again, but if you're braver than I am, why not? You should give it a try. Okay, and that is it for today's episode, everyone. So I much prefer to do these episodes like at the beginning of the week, because it's just much better than summarizing news at the end of the week. And on Thursday, I will be doing a podcast with Kento Inami. He's the founder of UXD Protocol. They are one of the newest constituents of our Solid token. They have a stablecoin, UXD, which is backed by a 100% delta neutral token, right? UXD is not in our Solid token. UXP, their governance token, is. But it's still, if you're curious about delta neutral, you can contact me on Telegram, Twitter, Discord, right? I'm always there. Give me some questions. I will ask him as well. He used to work at a very famous bank in Japan. I think if you don't live in Asia, you probably don't know who they are, but they are pretty famous. Otherwise, yeah, that's it for today, guys. I'm going to try to get this episode up tonight. It'll unlikely happen tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow, but I will talk to you guys later.